Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai. Good madanga player. Good steady beat. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivakacharyasta Dada Sri Simad. His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivakacharyasta Dada Sri Simad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Guru Parampara Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda Hari Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Bilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Sehitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadharubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vasudhi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much. This cold weather is giving me a cough. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, translation and commentary Srila Prabhupada. Today is 23, correct? Very famous verse. Everyone learns this on the Bhakta program. So, please repeat. Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi.
Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi.
Nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ.
Nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ.
Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpo.
Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpo.
Na śoṣayati mārutaḥ.
Na śoṣayati mārutaḥ.
Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi.
Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi.
Nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ.
Nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ.
Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpo.
Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpo.
Na śoṣayati mārutaḥ. Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi.
Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi.
Nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ.
Nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ.
Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpo.
Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpo.
Na śoṣayati mārutaḥ.
Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi. nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ na cainaṁ kledayanti na śoṣayati mārutaḥ
chindanti śastrāṇi
nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi
nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ
na cainaṁ kledayanti na śoṣayati mārutaḥ
nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi
nainaṁ chindanti
śastrāṇi
nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ
nainaṁ kledayanti
na
śoṣayati mārutaḥ nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ So, word for word, please repeat. No, never. Enam, this soul. Chindanti, can cut to pieces. Śastrāṇi, weapons. No, never. Enam, this soul. Dahati, burns. Pāvakaḥ, fire. Never. Cha, also. Enam, this soul. Kledayanti, moistens. Āpaḥ, water. Na, never. śoṣayati, dries. Mārutaḥ, wind. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Please repeat. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. All kinds of weapons, swords, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc., are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made of earth, water, air, ether, etc., in addition to the modern weapons of fire. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons, but formerly there were other weapons made of all different types of material elements. Fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to modern science. Nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapons. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of scientific devices. The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original Supreme Soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the Supreme Soul. Because they are atomic individual souls eternally, sanatana, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy. And thus they become separated from the association of the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. In the Varaha Puran, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme. They are eternally so, according to Bhagavad Gita also. So even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of the Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. Mukam karochi vachalam pangam laite girim Yat kripatamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Nainaṁ chindanti śastrāṇi, nainaṁ dahati pāvakaḥ. Na cainaṁ kledayanty āpaḥ, na śoṣayati mārutaḥ. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So, Arjuna is being instructed by Krishna on the eternality of the soul here. That Arjuna was very nervous about fighting, and he was talking about killing his opposite number. Bhishma, Drona, Acharya, great people, and he was talking on morality, and the women will not be protected, society will collapse if we have this battle. But Arjuna is being instructed here by Krishna that no, you've got the wrong conceptions, Arjuna. You are pursuing asat dharma. That means religious or duties in connection with that which is asat, which is non-eternal. And here, Krishna is explaining in this section that the soul is eternal. So this is interesting to note at this point, that before Krishna describes himself as the Supreme Soul, in the Gita here, the individual soul is being described. So before we can understand the Supreme Soul, we should first understand the basics about ourselves. That we are eternal beings. There is that sloka, right? Mama vangsa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana śastrāṇi indriyani prakriti sthāni kāshati. The living entities are my eternal parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So Krishna is saying that the soul is my angsa. He's part of me. But as Prabhupada points out there, he is vibhinangsa. He's separated. So if we understand the soul, we're on this step to understanding the Supreme Soul, of which we are part of. We are the same in quality as the Supreme Soul, but we are different in quantity. Krishna is the one absolute who is unlimited in potency. We are unlimited, the Jiva Shakti, in number, but limited in potency. So you can see the counterpoint. Krishna on one side is one. Supreme Lord is, what is that verse in the Bhagavatam? Eka Kale Krishna Hara Sabhya Prithya.
Speak loudly, please.
Is it not? Turn up the volume then. You don't know how to. Have a look. There'll be a volume knob. Can you turn up the volume? Volume up. Hello? Is that better? Yeah. Is that better? Put 5% more, just for good luck. Hare Krishna. Okay. All right, everyone happy? Yeah. So we are part of Krishna, we are angsa of Krishna. Can you hear nicely now? Yeah. I hope so. So we are part and parcel of Krishna, same in quality. So if we understand our own self, we can progress that knowledge onto the Supreme Self. Krishna is the one unlimited in potency. We are unlimited in number, but we're limited in potency. And He is the absolute, independent source. He's the absolute truth, whereas we are dependent on Krishna. We are angsa. And due to conditional life, we're struggling with the mind and body. in the material endeavor. We're trying to enjoy and control and enjoy the material environment. But we should reconnect with Krishna. We are angsa. There is an eternal relationship of Krishna with Krishna. There's that sloka in the Gita, aham bija pritapita. I am the seed-giving father. So Krishna is the origin of the living entity. He's the origin of the soul. So we have that eternal relationship. In this material world we have material, temporary, asat relationships with our married partners, our children, our family members. But that is all asat. That is all temporary according to this life. But we should pursue atato brahmajignas, to pursue our eternal relationship. And Arjuna was giving all this quotation. This child has to be quiet. We have to pursue the relationship with our sat, with the absolute truth, not be distracted by the mind into asat dharma, our relationship with the material energy, our material relations. And this is exactly what Arjuna was in the condition. Oh, my family members, my situation, it's not going to be good, it's bad karma, and so on and so forth. But this was all asat. This is all asat consideration. But Krishna is now saying you must consider the reality that you are an eternal being, and instead of worrying about death and everything, you should be concerned with doing your duty. This is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Okay, you are worried about your activities, but what you should be concerned about is your relationship, your eternal relationship with the Supreme. And that is the point of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is the chariot driver of the body, and the soul is the passenger. And they are interacting. But the, what's that verse? Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridaya arjuna tistati. That the Supreme Lord and the living entity, they're situated in the body, which is like a machine made of material energy. But those that are spiritually realized are reciprocating directly with Krishna. But those that are in the illusion of asat dharma, asat perception, material conception, they are thinking in a completely different way. According to the time and circumstances, the material society and values, it varies throughout time. Now we're at this time in Kali Yuga. In previous times they had different morality and ideas. But the real thing is to find Krishna, atato brahmajignas. That's the start of the Bhagavatam. So when Arjuna is understanding I'm actually an eternal being and the Supreme Lord is eternal, then what is our eternal relationship? This is a naturally following idea. So here you can see there are 5 gross material elements categorized as ether, air, fire, water, and earth. So Krishna is enumerating the last 4. You see that? The soul cannot be cut by weapons. So that's a reference to solids, earth element, nor burned by fire. That's a reference to fire. And then nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So that's reference to air. So the soul is aloof from all of those things, but the consciousness of the soul just like there is the sun and the sunlight, we can view the soul in terms of the soul itself, the body of the soul, and the consciousness that is eternally emitting from the soul. So the consciousness, we've discussed this many times, that is affected by material life. But the soul is never damaged or moistened or anything. You see this in the next verse. The individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble. Again, unbreakable earth, insoluble water, can neither be burned nor dried. So wind and fire. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. So this is also more information about ourselves and the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is eternally the same, just as we are. He doesn't go through flux. And this is an important point, because in this material world, our mind and our body, as we know, through life changes. Once we're a child, then we're mid and so on, and we progress to old age. But the soul does not age, because it is a spiritual entity, and spiritual entities are above the flux of the material energy. So this also indicates the nature of Krishna. He is eternally the Supreme Lord. Of course, the demoniac, like Hiranyakashipu in the Bhagavatam, think that they can depose Krishna from his position. This was the idea of Hiranyakashipu. I will kill Vishnu and I will become. They think that the position of being the supreme entity is up for grabs. Like now Narendra Modi is Prime Minister, but there is no doubt other people planning to be the Prime Minister and depose him. And of course, even if no one is planning to depose him and take his position, just by the natural course of time, that will happen. So many prime ministers in so many countries, presidents, they're all changing all the time. But Krishna is eternally the Supreme Lord. Because in the spirit, the material time factor, Kala, the Kala Shakti is relevant to the material world. It's not relevant to the spiritual platform. Yes. Now we're on the subject. I'll read this shloka from the Brahma Samhita, very famous. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kaltaravo. I worship that transcendental seat known as Svetadvip, where as loving consorts, the Lakshmis, in their unalloyed spiritual essence, practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover. Here's a description of the abode of Krishna, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gait is a dance, the flute is the favorite attendant, effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty, where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time. This is the translation, you can study the Sanskrit. Who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away even for the space of half a moment. I'll read that again. Where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence not subject to the quality of passing away even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Goloka, only to a very few self-realized souls of this world. So this is very remarkable, is it not? We are under the Kala Shakti, and we're always calculating existence in time of past, present and future. But in the spiritual world there is no past and no future. There is only existing eternal time. So how are we to understand that from the material platform? Well, this is why the great saints and sages meditate for thousands of years in samadhi, to rise above the material time that they are conditioned by and enter into eternal time. So this is something to contemplate, that eternal time is there, but it's a different experience of existence. So this we can have a glimmer of by contemplation, and we can contemplate these things when we're chanting and when we have time and it's a quiet place, and we can have a glimmer, but it is experienced by purified consciousness. It is not perfectly realized by just an intellectual conception. You know, we can have a hint from the words here, but sevan mukhi he jivado, as we always say, Prabhupada quoted so many times, swayam eva spuryadam. The spiritual platform reveals itself within the purified consciousness of the soul. And then these things are natural. We are conditioned, mana shastra indriyani, by this material circumstance. And we take the standards of this material experience, which we are now within a human body, and we take this as the standard of experience. But we know different creatures, they have much better. They say that a dog has maybe 1,000 times better sense of smell. There are vultures in the sky that can see 3-4 miles into the distance and see a dying animal and know this is lunch. Also, they know elephants have even greater sense of smell than any other creature, and so on and so forth. And they are taking my life as an elephant or a vulture, or, you know, some meerkat with huge ears can hear things far away. They are taking that standard of sense input into their consciousness through their material body as the standard of life. They may think that human beings, when they see them, can hear just as well as me. We don't know. But and then there are devas living in the higher planetary systems that some are omniscient. They can see the past, present and future. Bhrigu, he wrote the Bhrigu Samhita, Bhrigu Rishi, so on and so forth. But we this is conditioned life, we take what we are experiencing, just like the child. He takes his life as a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old as being the normal state of affairs. If we remember when we were children, sometimes we would look at grown-ups and think, I don't understand how grown-ups behave. It's very peculiar. Right? Is it not true? Yeah, they don't run around and have fun like me. They're always walking. It's so slow to walk. Why don't they run? Why don't they get a bicycle? So we take what we are experiencing as the standard. But through the Shastra Chakshus, we get a vision of the spiritual world. So here Krishna is starting by educating Arjuna on the absolute truth, Brahman, Atato Brahman. This is the Vedanta Sutra of the Mahabharata. Vedanta Sutra is summation of the Upanishads throughout the 4 Vedas, the 5th Veda. This is the summation of the Upanishads in Mahabharat form. So here it is explained that first realize your eternal, insoluble nature. So then how am I in this conditioned state? As we say, it is because our consciousness is focused. We were talking about this last week. We're focused on enjoying the material world. So yoga, whether it is hatha, katha, whatever, but bhakti we know is the best, is to focus the consciousness on transcendence above. And in Kali Yuga, hearing and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And we should be attentive to getting spurti, realization from Krishna. And that is the experience of every devotee, right? Every devotee lives in a state of realization by the grace of Guru and Krishna. Krishna gradually reveals everything to not only Arjuna here, but every individual devotee. And we all experience that. So this is the topic in these verses, in this section of the Gita, the eternality of the soul, and by implication, the eternality of the Supreme Soul, and the eternality of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Right? So that is the special goal of human life. Yes, we have our asat, we are in the material world, so we should do all our duties, yad karosi, yad anasi, yad stidosi, dadashi, yad, as an offering to the Supreme, right? This is the thing. When Lord Chaitanya was told Varnashram, he said, oh, that's external. But then yad karosi, okay, do your duties, your material duties, but do it as an offering. So then our Krishna, Lord Chaitanya said to Ramananda Roy, okay, that's good, but you must go further. You must go further. Ultimately, offering of material duties to the Supreme, that's good. But what we must do is Nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhai. We must relate to the Supreme Lord in Swarup. Muktir hitavan yata rupam. We must be liberated from all material considerations and relate to Krishna in our eternal spiritual form. And that is the highest purification. That is the highest position of the living entity, and that is true liberation. So, that is something to be conceived of. Now, to be considered and made as a goal. We should be inspired by this conception that, we should wake up. This is the benefit. We should not sleep in the lap of Maya. Jeev jago, gora chandra bole, kotanitra jayo, pisa chera kole. Everyone is asleep. You can go into the temple and you can sit down quietly. There's no quiet place to sit anymore. And you can think, all these people, they're all in their material body, and they're all in the dream of being that material body. Of course, they're hearing the kirtan, whether they're singing in tune or not. They're in the holy place, they're before the deities. But the benefit of shastric knowledge and hearing shastric knowledge is that it cuts through the Maya Shakti. And so with knowledge, if we look, we can see that everyone is just in the dream. Just like the child playing with the plastic toy. He's in the dream of being a child. So everyone in the material world is in the dream of being this material body. I'm Indian, I'm foreigner, I'm Bengali, I'm this, I'm Russian, I'm Jewish, I'm whatever. They're all in this dream. Of course, in Kali Yuga, it often becomes a nightmare, but they're all in this illusion of that is their material conditioning. So Bhagavad Gita, here Krishna said, come out of this. Come out of this, Arjuna. you're distressed, you're confused about this. Now come to the eternal platform. And that is imperative, that's prayojan. Prayojan means necessity, or else, as Krishna explained, for one who is dying, birth is certain. And there's another, even Krishna says it even more clearly in another part of the Gita, says, Ashradha dana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa apraptya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vatmani. Krishna says, those that are not faithful on this path of devotional service cannot attain me, but return to birth and death in the material world. So Krishna is just saying it very clearly. Now you have a good chance, Arjuna. Gain your relationship with me, the Supreme Lord, and thereby he's instructing us, or you return to becoming a child in your next life, if you're lucky, pushing a plastic toy. You understand? In this dream situation. So we have to see the alternative, a fork in the road. And now in the second chapter, second verse, paragraph rather, Prabhupada always, in this section, he's mentioning that the soul remains eternally an individual. So that's very instructive. So sometimes, and he talks about how they are separated parts of the Supreme Soul. That just as sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord. They are eternally so. So I looked up this section of Brahma Samhita, which is written by Lord Brahma. It's a commentary of Jiva Goswami. And generally people, of course, very nicely, they chant Chindamani, Govindam Adipurisham. But in the first section of the Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, there are very instructive, the position of Lord Shiva, Durga Devi, the creation of the universe. But we'll focus on this section here that's talking about the living entity, the jiva. So here in verse 11, just before we get to this, there are other purports, but we'll deal with this one coming. The Lord of the mundane world, Mahavishnu, possesses thousands and thousands of heads, eyes and hands. He is the source of thousands and thousands of avatars in his thousands of subjective portions. So there are two types. There is Swamsa, that is the Supreme Lord, his own part. He expands and comes in different avatars. So generally they are coming from Mahavishnu, who is within the causal ocean. Now, they are called subjective portions. They are Swamsa. But we are Vivinangsa, separated parts. That means we are not separated in the sense that distantly separated, but we have separated will. The Swamsa portion is acting according to the will of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is Bhagavan, Krishna's two, Bhagavan Swayam, but he is expanding as Mahavishnu, as Kshirodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and they are Krishna himself pursuing different roles and pursuing different leelas. So the living entity is also an expansion from Krishna. In this case, the Tatastha Shakti jivas are mentioned. But they are separated in the sense that they are independent will from Krishna. They have their own desire. They can focus on what they want to do with their energy. They focus their consciousness in different directions. Therefore, we can focus on the material energy to enjoy, or we can focus, that is called rag, or we can focus on the material energy in bhaya, fearfulness, vitaraga, bhaya, krodha, or we can become angry, frustrated, I can't achieve things, and become suicidal or angry or murderous. Vitaraga, bhaya, krodha, these are the three things Krishna explained. You're either attracted to the material energy or you're fearful of it because, oh, it might kill me, it might hurt me, like Arjuna, or krodha, we're angry, frustrated. Vitaraga, bhaya, krodha. So we focus on the material world, we will experience that. Oh, raga, I'm in love with this girl, she's wonderful. Oh, she left me for another man. I'm fearful that the next wife, the next girl will also leave me. Oh, krodha, I'm angry because... So this is the material energy. Is battering the consciousness. But the living entity is not damaged. This consciousness is affected, but not the soul. It says on self in the material world. This is the function of the tatastha shakti. And here Jiva Goswami makes it very clear. First he talks about Shambhu, how he is the governor of Ahankara. And then it says here, the innumerable jivas as spiritual particles emanating from the oversoul, that's Mahavishnu, in the form of pencil rays of effulgence, so we're emanating from Mahavishnu, have no relationship with the mundane world when they come to know themselves to be the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. So when they come to know, when they realize their relationship with the Supreme Lord, they transcend the material world by that relationship. They are then incorporated into the realm of Vaikuntha. But when they desire, by choice, by focus, to lord it over Maya, control and enjoy the Maya Shakti, forgetting their real identity as servants, the egoistic principle of Shambhu, that means ahankara, false ego, false understanding of their nature, enters into their entity, into their consciousness, and makes them identify themselves as separated enjoyers of mundane entities. Hence Shambhu is the primary principle of the egoistic mundane universe, and of the perverted egotism, ahankara, in jivas that identifies itself with their limited material bodies. So we either identify with Krishna by realization of Krishna, or we identify with this body in relation to the material energy. But it is done by choice. This is the point from the Tatastha Shakti principle. We're emanating, it is explained also that different living entities, Jiva Shakti, emanate within Goloka, and they naturally become the servants of the Supreme Lord in Goloka. Some entities emanate from the Supreme Lord in Hridam, and they become the natural servants within Hridam. But the Tatastha Shakti Jivas, emanating from Mahavishnu in the realm of the causal ocean, they can choose the Maya Shakti or they can choose service to Krishna. If they serve the service to Krishna, they become incorporated into the spiritual realm in their natural function as servants of the servants of the servants of Krishna. But if they choose to reject service to Krishna and assume service to themselves, they enter the material world. But the point is, the material energy is not satisfactory. And this unsatisfactory nature of the material energy can be understood in the human form, here on Bhuloka. In this material, we can understand this. Therefore, in the material world, especially here on earth plane, we are very philosophical, searching for the truth. Sanatana Goswami, Kayami, he asked Lord Chaitanya, what am I? People say I'm learned, but what is my real nature? And why am I suffering? This was the quest of Buddha avatar, right? Why are we suffering? I don't understand. He was living in the forest, in the palace, in great luxury. One day he went outside and he saw birth, death, old age and disease. What is this suffering? In the palace I never saw these things. Why are people suffering? What is the cause? And so on and so forth. So the material energy, by its nature, we fulfill our illusory ideas of enjoyment, but also it's unsatisfactory because we are spiritual beings. So in the human form, we can understand that and cultivate spiritual knowledge. Therefore, everyone believes in God. Even the atheist, they always talk about God as the supreme person. Even though they don't accept him, they all have the same idea. So this is naturally in the human form, the idea of a supreme personal creator. And so we have a supreme relationship with that personal creator. And Lord Chaitanya, he has come to give the Maha Mantra to wake up out of this illusory attachment to the material world. So here, everything is described in the Shastra. And if we pursue hearing and chanting and smaranam, meditation on these fine points, we can become realized. We can develop Swarup Siddhi. Jivera Swarupoi Nichera Krishna Das. That's what Sanatana Goswami was told. You are the eternal servant of Krishna. That is your Swarup, your own spiritual form, your own nature. And that is eternal. It is not lost. It is part of the soul. Prabhupada explains this in one letter. It's there, I think, Rupanuga, 1969, that just like every seed has a plant within, and it grows into that. So that is natural to the seed. It is constitutional to the seed. So every soul has a constitutional nature. That's why it's swa, own, roop, form, own spiritual form. It is constitutional nature. And therefore that, what is that verse? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Sadhakabanai, Shravanadi Sudachitte, Karidayodai. Just like the seed turns into the plant in the right conditions. So Shravanadi, by hearing and chanting and so forth, the soul wakes up to his relationship with the Supreme. And that is beyond the mind. That is the personal spiritual experience of a devotee. So understanding that, we should practice the chanting of hearing from the great sages, the great commentaries, the great discussions, Krishna and Arjuna, the Bhagavatam, the writings of Rupa Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we should focus and realize that by the grace of Krishna. Because three things are necessary. It's there in the Brahma Samhita, Pramanas sad acharas stadabhyasi nirantaram podiyam atma atmanam bhaktim apiyutamam. Yes, here it is. So you only have to practice, remember three things if you want to wake up your spiritual nature. The highest devotion, Krishna is telling Brahma, is attained by slow degrees, by the method of constant endeavor for self-realization. Constant, we build our life. That is the central core. Yes, we have our material duties, the material body, but the central core that we're focusing on is constant endeavors for self-realization with the help of, remember these three things. I'm going to test you in a minute. Scriptural evidence, right? The sadhu's commentary, the shastra, acharya and bona fide guru. Theistic conduct, sadachara is the Sanskrit. That means we must live a pure life. We must overcome envy and all these bad qualities, regulative principles we must follow. We must try to become good sadhus, try to become good-hearted. And perseverance in practice. Three things. So what are those three things? Number one? Huh? Yes, scriptural evidence. That means the Shastra plus the commentary of the Acharyas. Number two?
Pure life.
Yes, pure life, good behavior. And number three? The water that wears away the stone is very perseverance. Perseverance. We must, even if we have problems or obstacles, we keep trying. So again, what's number one? Scriptural evidence. And number two, you say? Huh? Huh? No, that's number three. Number two, pure life. Number three, perseverance, right? So you can think of it as Shastra, purity, and perseverance, right? Shastra means commentary, discussion, talking about Krishna. Pure life, and that is, we all know, nectar of instruction. We all know what is pure life, good morality, good behavior, and perseverance. And then we practice these things, and what do? We offer it to Guru and Krishna, Lord Chaitanya. Huh? The highest devotion is attained by slow degrees, by constant endeavor in these three things. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now next week, next Friday, I'm going to test you on these three. So anyway, today is great knowledge. I remember reading this for the first time, the Gita. I got it by mail order. I was reading a lot in those days. And I'm eternal. Once the penny drops, it's an amazing thing, is it not? I mean, you're all experienced devotees. So you think, yeah, I'm eternal. Big deal. But actually, when that penny drops for the first time, how wonderful that is, right? Everyone now is going to Israel and fighting, and Ukraine, and there's always some war going on. It's Kali Yuga. But I'm eternal. Huh? And I cannot be damaged or by the material energy. Yes, burned by the wind, hit by weapons, earth weapons, water weapons, fire weapons, air weapons. I can't be damaged. So let's go to a place where we are eternally comfortable. Right? Isn't it? Right? That is a simple conclusion. This is common sense. Okay, thank you all very much. Any quick question? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes. Oh, last week you asked about the life heirs, and we gave a quick answer. But the way I was contemplating in the week, Yes, it's all these udana, samana, vyana. So the way to understand it is that in this gross body we have different systems. The blood system, nervous system, digestive system, so on and so forth. So we have a second body, the subtle body, right? And the subtle body has also systems within it. For example, it has chakras, energy centers, and it has life airs. So these are described in the Vedic literature, that just like this gross body is a balance of nervous system and blood and so on and digestion, so within the subtle body there is a balance of that systemology in the subtle body. So the life airs and the soul is touching these by consciousness, floating in the life airs, the chakras. And so the yogis that want to perform Hatha Yoga, Raj Yoga, they learn to go within the mind and draw the energies upwards, raising the kundalini and so on and so forth. So they're very much attuned to manipulating the subtle energies of the subtle material body. But that is all included in realization of the Supreme. So does that answer your question more fully? Huh?
Can you say what form I can read about this in my way?
Well, it's yogic literatures. Just like, you know, we know that there's a blood and nervous system in this body, but we may not know exactly. A doctor will learn more. But if you understand the talk about different pranas and chakras, they are part... Huh? Where to study it? Well, you could look it up in the Yoga Shastras and so on and so forth, if you're interested in that. But don't let it distract, because you see, when the soul wakes up spiritually, when the Swarup manifests, then the subtle body becomes regulated along with the material body, automatically, you understand? So the yogi is going to the mental body, but we're going to the spiritual body, do you understand? Which is underlying the subtle body and the gross body. Do you understand the point? So we want to wake up the soul. We want to Shravanadi Sudaditi Karide Udai. The soul wakes up by Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam. So we're going a deeper level. You understand? Huh? So those energy centers are there and that systemology is there, but just like we're not really interested in learning medical science of the gross body, we can learn a little bit about the subtle body, but we can get involved in it. But as bhakti yogis, we want to become involved in the spiritual body. Jivara svarupoi. Yeah, Krishnara Nityadas. So we're going to the root. Any other question? So we'll see you next Friday then. Thank you all for attending or coming late.
Sorry, I went with God brothers to Govardhan.
To where?
Govardhan.
Oh, Govardhan, okay.
So I wanted to come on time, but...
Nope, no problem.
Sorry.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thank you all for coming. We had a good discussion, I hope. You enjoyed, got some good knowledge.